Hey guys, I'm Michael from E-Kids.
Heyo!
As you know, we've been studying the book of Acts. We want to find out how the apostles really show us the fruits of the Spirit and how God gave them gifts of the Spirit. We want to see how they use those things and what they do.
Yep.
Today, we're going to see how Paul and his friend Silas, how they do some of these things.
Yep, that makes sense.
We're going to see how they talk to two different people. And when they talk to these people, I want you guys to notice a few things. One, of course, I want you to see if they have fruits of the Spirit that they show when they talk to these people.
Love, joy, peace,
And two, what gifts of the Spirit do they use as well? But I also want you to think about how they act when they talk to people. You'll see two very different conversations, two very different people. And I want you to think, how would you have reacted? And maybe how could you change how you would have reacted?
Sounds good.
So let's use these two, Paul and Silas, as an example to see how we should act when we're trying to talk to people about Jesus.
Got it.
All right, guys. So let's check this video out first, and we'll talk a little bit more later. All right, check it out.
Slapstick Theater. Paul and Silas. This is Paul,
Oh, hey.
who told people about Jesus in lots of different places. One day, Paul was walking with his friend Silas.
Heyo.
They were being followed by a girl who was controlled by an evil spirit. Her owners used her to make money. After days and days of this happening, Paul got so annoyed that he turned around and told the evil spirit to leave her. So the girl was freed.
Woohoo!
But her owners got mad at Paul and Silas because they wouldn't make any money off of her anymore. And they had them thrown in jail. The jailer locked them up.
Oh, man.
Around midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing to God, and the other prisoners were listening. Suddenly, there was an earthquake, and the chains of all the prisoners fell off.
Oh, what just happened?
But Paul and Silas didn't leave, even though they could have. Several people decided to follow Jesus that night, including the jailer and his whole family. And the next morning, they were released from jail, and the city officials even apologized to them.
Sorry about that.
Paul and Silas encouraged the Christians in the town, and they continued on their mission to tell people about Jesus.
See ya.
Yeah, guys. That was difficult, wasn't it? Could you imagine how you would talk to a crazy person?
Nope.
I mean, what would you do? How would you act? You know, sometimes when people bother us and people are kind of crazy, sometimes we have a tendency to be, well, maybe a little bit mean to them.
Nah,
But you see, Paul and Silas, they weren't mean.
Thank you.
And also, we're seeing some of those fruits of the Spirit. And you know what? I'm learning that really all these fruits of the Spirit revolve around love. And the gifts of the Spirit too. They all revolve around love.
No,
Instead
wow.
of being mean and just telling this woman to just go away or yelling at her, they love her and they help her get back to normal. Okay, now we have another video. This one's short.
Thank you.
And we're going to see another happy story about Paul and Silas. So check this one out.
Slapstick Theater. Lydia. This is Lydia, who worshiped God and was a dealer in purple cloth. One day, Lydia was with a group of women by a river.
Oh, hey.
Paul and Silas came and started speaking to the women. As she listened to them, God helped her to understand and believe in what they were saying.
Oh, wow.
She and her whole household were baptized. Lydia asked Paul and Silas to come and stay in her home.
Okay.
Paul and Silas stayed with Lydia many times, as she always opened her home to them.
All right, now that was cool too. We got to see how Paul and Silas, how they reached a woman and they told her about Jesus, and then she gets saved and she gets baptized, and it's a really cool story. I like it. I hope you liked it too. And you know what? I want to encourage you guys with something. If you look around, you'll notice something. There aren't as many people here as there used to be, and that's okay. I get it.
I get it.
But you know what you can do? Just like how Paul and Silas talk to this lady, Lydia, about Jesus, you can talk to your friends about Jesus too.
Okay, I can do that.
When you go to school, you can tell your friends that you pray and that you read the book of Acts that's in the Bible, and that you go to church, and you can invite them to come here with you. You can bring your friends with you to church. Of course, that's if their parents are okay with that. You have to ask your mom and dad, have to ask their mom and dad first. But let's do that. Let's start inviting our friends. Let's start talking to people like how Paul and Silas talked to people.
Yep.
Okay, you know we've talked about the fruits of the Spirit, and I had a fun little song for you guys. No, I'm not going to play that song again. I know you've heard it over and over and over and over again.
Wait.
But I have a new one. It's about the gifts of the Spirit.
Wait, what?
Because remember, the fruits of the Spirit is kind of like how the Holy Spirit works in you and moves out of you through His Spirit. Well, as He works in you and works through you, also He can give you some like gifts or maybe some talents. God can change who you are, and He can also change what you can do. So this song is about gifts of the Spirit. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's talk about the gifts of the Spirit. Say it loud so everybody hears it. First are the gifts God may ask you to be. It's a calling, it's a lifestyle, it's a big thing. Next are the gifts, the stuff that you can do. It's more about the what and less about the who. And finally, the biggest and best is love. And we all got it and we get it from above. Prophet, evangelist, and a teacher. Is God calling you to be a preacher, apostle, and a prophet like a radio station? Does God speak to you or give you revelation? Serve, give, heal, and be full of mercy like fresh cold water for a man who's thirsty. Miracles, tongues, and interpretation. Serving Jesus all across the nations. Apostle, prophet, evangelist, shepherd, teacher. Serve, give, mercy, heal. Miracles, tongues, interpretation. All the gifts are all about love. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels but have not love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove all mountains but have not love, I'm nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned but have not love, I gain nothing. Prophet, evangelist, and a teacher. Is God calling you to be a preacher, apostle, and a prophet like a radio station? Does God speak to you or give you revelation? Serve, give, heal, and be full of mercy like fresh cold water for a man who's thirsty. Miracles, tongues, and interpretation. Serving Jesus all across the nations. Apostle, prophet, evangelist, shepherd, teacher. Serve, give, mercy, heal. Miracles, tongues, interpretation. All the gifts are all about love. All right, guys, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories about Paul and Silas and how they talk with a crazy person, and about how they talk with Lydia and how how Lydia was saved and baptized, and also we've learned about how the gifts of the Spirit are things that God can give you so you can affect others. I hope you like the song. I hope you love the lesson. Hey guys, I love you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. For now, bye.
See ya!